Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday to you. I am back. I know I don't sound the best yet, but honestly, I have never felt horrible. So I don't know what's going on with my voice. I don't know why I keep coughing, and it's like this, but I feel absolutely fine. So I'm happy to be with you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Looks like we've got a few people have jumped on already. Good morning, Becky and Beth and Kelly and Karen. I'm so glad that you're able to join me this morning. Um, oh, Kelly, I don't feel horrible. So good morning, Denise. I know you've been struggling with this as well, Denise. You understand my pain. Um, I really, um, I really wish that I could just get my voice back, but it doesn't want to come back. And then when I try to project my voice, then I start coughing. But hopefully I can make it through this without coughing a lot. Um, we are going to this week, I'm going to make one of the cards that the Christmas project that I was going to do last week. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the Christmas project from this week. And then I'm going to do one of the other two cards that I was going to do last week. And I'll do the other card next week. Um, so anyhow, I just wanted to let you know that that's the plan. Oh my goodness, I've had so much happy mail that I wanted to share with you. So I received this beautiful card from my upline Kelly, and if you can see that little haunted house, there we go. It kind of is really, really glossy that she used, I'm pretty sure, a technique that I used a while back with the Brood for You. She put packing tape over the top of this to make it shiny. So that's all you have to do. It's not embossed or anything like that. But she was sending this to me. Kelly sent this to me for being top 10 in sales in September. So what an awesome surprise. Then I received this in the mail from Tammy Litsky. I was a winner on her Facebook page. She goes on Sunday morning, so if you ever want to catch her, look how she did that blocking, where she did some blending and she had made like a little, this is that cute little snowman set that we used a couple weeks ago. And then I received this from Kelly, excuse me, Wildenberg, which she used the fold that I used a couple weeks ago. And she thanked me for, I think she borrowed a couple things from me. And then look at this beautiful card. I don't even know what stamp set this is. This I received from Debbie Peters as a little thank you. And it's beautiful and I love the colors. I am a yellow and gray fan. My living room is all decked out in yellow and gray. And then I also received this beautiful card from Mary King. I believe this is from Yes. And she has the inside stamped as well. Gorgeous cards, ladies. Thank you so much for all of the happy mail that you have sent in the mail to me recently. I really, really appreciate it. I wanted to remind you because we only have about a week left of the best deal that Stampin' Up! Has to offer right now, and that is the starter kit. So if you are looking that you're going to be spending around $99, this is your best deal because you get $155 in product. You can pick out whatever you want for that $99 and you get free shipping and you also get a paper pumpkin kit. There is no obligation beyond that. But if you decide, if you're a person who spends maybe around $100 a month roughly, you will get a discount on all of your products. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You can just easily get a discount on everything that you purchase. And that's how I started out. I started out as a hobby demonstrator. I just wanted that discount because I was spending so much money that I'm like, I might as well get a discount on all of this stuff. You also get to order things early. So some of the product that I'm going to be using today on the second Christmas card that I'm making is product that I have been able to have for a couple of weeks now, but will not be available to customers until November 1st. And so it's a great deal. If you're ever interested, just let me know. I know I had somebody hopped onto my team this week, Julie Schleve. She's like, I'm going to spend about $99. I might as well get an extra 55 bucks, right? And so it's kind of a no-brainer. So anyhow, if you're interested in that, let me know. Um, I have prizes to give away, and then we are going to go ahead and get to stamping. I don't know what I did with my post-it note, but I think I remember. Where did my post-it note go? The first person, I don't remember her name, from Arizona. Let's see, what did I do with my post-it? Oh, here it is. I don't know why I moved it over there. Okay, so for commenting last week and receiving, we made this card. It was one of those double Dutch doors. And this baby card we made, which I ended up going to that baby shower last week. I felt horrible going to it because I sounded horrible, but I didn't feel sick. I stayed away from people. I've taken 3 COVID tests now, I think, and all of them have come back negative. And I went to go get my flu shot this week, and the guy that gave me my flu shot said, "Don't keep taking them." He said, if you haven't gotten it right now, it's not what you have is not COVID. And I'm like, okay. All right. So receiving that. And then we also made this box that has that body butter in. And receiving this is Patricia Taylor from Arizona. So, Patricia, I do not have your address. So, if you could please private message me your address, I will get this off in the mail to you. Set that up there so I don't forget it. And then for sharing, so if you hit share and you share this video either on your Facebook page or in a private message with somebody, you also get put into a drawing and receiving these 2021-22 in color opal rounds. Aren't those gorgeous? Along with a spool of the Tahitian Tide glimmer ribbon is Karen Wetstein. So thank you to all of you who shared. And Karen, I will be getting this off in the mail to you. Excuse me. Then for ordering. So anyone who places an order also gets put into a drawing. And I also draw for that. And receiving this stamp set, Garden Birdhouses. I love, 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 love this stamp set. This is going to Shanna Roberts. So Shanna, I will be getting this off in the mail to you when I send you your club cards this week. So, all right, let's see. We have a lot of people who have jumped on here. So I've had Kathy Miller, good morning. Tammy, good morning. Nancy, good morning. On YouTube, we have Mary, good morning. And Betty and Linda, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me. And yes, Tammy, congratulations to all of our winners. To try to save my voice, so I'm not going to do a lot of talking, I'm going to go ahead, turn my camera around. Now, I am going to say I did get disconnected once this morning, so hopefully that won't happen. I will try to keep an eye on it to make sure that I don't get disconnected. And hopefully it's not blurry. I've been having some problems. I know Kathy Miller's been having some problems. I know YouTube is clear. It seems to be a Facebook problem. I thought I had it changed, but I don't know if any of my settings went back when I restarted or not. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn my overhead light off. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you the dimensions first. So our first card, we're going to be using the celebration tags. And the dimensions, we're going to be using Pool Party and Blackberry Bliss. We're also going to be using that Hostess DSP, the DSP that you can only get when you're a hostess. And it's really, really fun DSP. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to you. And whoops, not that one, this one. Sorry, out of practice here, 1 week off and I can't get it right. All right, so hopefully that is clear enough for you. So what we're going to be using is this bundle right here. Celebrate with tags. There's a birthday. We're going to be using the birthday, but there's also Christmas. There's this little mitten. I used the Be Jolly, and I used the two, and I used this die for some tags that I had to make for an event that we have coming up with Stampin' Up. So in a couple of weeks, I will be off to Indianapolis with a bunch of other Stampin' Up demonstrators for an event. We will be able to get our hands on the new celebration catalog as well as the new spring holiday catalog. And as part of that, I volunteered with the group that I'm going with on the bus to make tags for a gift that's going to be given away. So I don't want to show anybody those yet because I want that to be a surprise for other demonstrators. But I ended up using this die right here. And so the card I'm going to make today is going to have this little pocket on the front of it, but it's going to be a birthday card instead of Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. I'll go ahead and bring out, so I'm going to be using Pool Party. Whoops, there's some of the DSP. So this piece of Pool Party measures 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. I have a layer of 4 by 5 1/4 that'll go on the inside. I believe this was 3 by 5. I don't remember exactly, but it'll be on the dimensions that I show. And then this is 2 3/4 by, nope, that's for my envelope. This one is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. I did cut this out already, the tag, to save us just a little bit of time. So this tag is already cut for you. You have to start with a piece that's at least 3 inches wide and about 8 1/4 inches long at least. I have a scrap. I also cut out some of the candles that are in that die set. There's some that are striped. Here, I'll put them on here so you can see. There's some that are striped and some that are polka dotted. And so I cut out a few of each. And this piece of DSP, which comes from the same set, measures 2 1/8, no, 2 by 3 1/8, and that will fit right on the front of there. So if you're wondering what size you would have to get to cover that up, it's 2 inches by 3 1/8. I also have a scrap of white that we're going to be stamping on, and I cut out of the Blackberry Bliss. This is a stitched, or not a stitched, scalloped circle. This is a little piece of the DSP that measures 4 by 1/2 inch for the inside. I also cut some of those candles out. The reason there's 4, we're only going to use 3, but you cut 2 of each at a time. So I cut it out in Daffodil Delight to be able to cut the wick off and be able to use the wick. Now, there's also this circle that comes in there that cuts out the Let's Celebrate You. And so I cut that out already in the white. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's get our stamping done first. I'm going to bring in the stamps that we're going to be using. And on our scrap, I'm going to start by stamping the Let's Celebrate You in Pool Party. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and stamp that in Pool Party. Now, I'm going to do it on the one that I cut out because normally I would stamp it and then cut out. I'm going to just pray really hard. Oh, I did a pretty good job. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this again in Blackberry Bliss. Now, normally I would say go ahead and clean your stamp in between. However, I was going from a really light color to a dark color, so I'm not going to pick up that Pool Party at all. There is a die that cuts out the ribbon, or cuts out that word celebrate into a ribbon, and I've already cut that out for us so that we have it. So now I can make that saying two-toned. So it's going to be the Let's, and then the Celebrate will be really dark, and the Blackberry Bliss. On the inside of our card, we are going to stamp the Happy Birthday in the Blackberry Bliss ink. Hopefully I can get that. I feel like I just rocked that a little bit. Oh, Linda, you just ordered this set. I just love this set. I've been playing with it a lot. Then I'm going to take the little balloon that's in the set and I'm going to flip it over, and I wanted the string to be black. So I'm taking my black Stampin' Write marker and I'm just going to color right over that pool party with the black ink. I am going to give it a little huff and go ahead and press that down. Oh, I did a pretty good job. I have a little bit of ink right there. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera. I'm going to use my sand eraser and I'm just going to get that off. There we go. All right, so we are done with our stamping. So I am going to go ahead and good morning, Kelly. I don't know when you popped that up there, but I just happened to see it. And we are all set to start putting this together. I'm going to go ahead. This tag has everything scored for us that we need. So I'm just going to go ahead. I don't know what I did with my bone folder. It's not sitting in my little case right up here where I usually put it in. It's probably buried somewhere on my desk, to be honest with you. Okay, so this is going to be where we stick our little gift card in. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that this is sealed pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of our tear and tape. This actually isn't ours. This is some old stuff that I had from before we even had tear and tape. I found 2 rolls of it. I used to buy this stuff online, and then Stampin' Up! Finally started selling it. Well, we did the red line first, where you had to cut it because it was so thick, or it was so hard to, couldn't tear it off. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. And I am going to, on the edge, just kind of roll this in a little bit because it is a little bit thicker than our tear and tape. Oops. All right. And then I just want to go ahead and close this up. So when I did the tags that I made for our upcoming event, I actually used DSP to cut this little tag, but then I closed it completely. I didn't leave the little top part open because the gift card wasn't going to go in it. But by doubling it up, it made that thinner DSP feel a little bit thicker. Okay, so that's what I did for the one that, and I'll show you that probably the week after we get back from Indy. I'll go ahead and show you that tag. I was kind of excited. I thought that they turned out really cute. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put some of that DSP right there just to make that look really cute. I'm going to attach this DSP to that layer of Blackberry Bliss. I love this color combination. This paper is some of my favorite paper. And you do have to be a hostess in order to get it, in order to order it, or place at least a $150 order, because then you get the hostess rewards. I think I have an extra pack of it. I should be gifting that because I don't think I'll go through that much of it. It's a huge pack. I think you get 24 sheets of paper in it. It's humongous. All right, so we're going to put that over there, and we're going to place this on the inside. All right, we have to do a little bit with our candles. Now, the candles don't have to be anything that's putsy. I decided I wanted to make it a little putsy because that's just me. When I made this, I wasn't feeling sick at all. And so I was just putzing and playing around. Oh, you know what? I forgot to add this along the bottom. Nobody was yelling at me to add that little piece of DSP along the bottom of my inside. I think I have it cut the right size, so we should be good. I don't think I have to trim it. It fits there pretty good. I might have to trim just a tad bit off. I have a card buffet today starting at 9 o'clock. So I put a note on the door and said, if you get here and don't answer, just come in, start working. Everything's sitting out for them ready to go. So, all right. So what I wanted to do to make this just a tad putsy is I really wanted there to be the Blackberry Bliss behind this, but there isn't a solid candle in this set. So what I decided to do was just to attach this pool party candle with the polka dots, and we're going to do two of them with the stripes. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to attach that and just the bottom part to some Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just going to cut around it. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just attaching some of this to the Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to cut around that candle. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with a couple more. Now I purposely only did the body part of the candle because why would I waste my time cutting around that wick when I don't have to? So I just placed it so that it was up at the top. And I'm just going to cut around the outside of the body part of the candle, or the candle itself and not the wick. I'm just getting a little bit of glue on here. Now, I very easily could have put this on adhesive sheets and it probably would have made it a little bit easier for myself, but I didn't. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just take, oops, this is a ribbon one. Let me take my other one. And I'm just going to quickly cut around this candle. I'll cut all of these out kind of. All right, I'm going to cut a little bit closer. Hopefully my head's not getting in the camera. And the only thing I have to do yet is kind of snip this up here just a little bit because the candle's a little bit rounded at the top. Doesn't that look so much nicer than just that pool party? It takes a little bit of work, a little extra work, but I think it was worth it. All right, so we're going to cut that off. And we'll cut this off. There we go. So we've got 3 of our candles. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this wick off. And I'm just going to add, I don't want to lose these, so I'm just going to add a little drop of glue. Ooh, that's probably a little bit more than I needed. Could also use a little glue dot and bunch it up, but I thought there's yellow in this paper, and so by gosh, I'm going to make sure that I have a yellow wick. All right, so there's one. Again, I'm making this putzier than I probably had to, but sometimes the putz is worth it. I don't know, is that a Wisconsin word? Or those of you that are out of state, is that a word that you guys use too? All right, we got one wick. There's wick number 2. If you wanted to, you could cut the blue part off completely and just put the yellow one on the top, but I thought it was easier just to put it right over the top. All right, some glue. And if you wanted to use take your pick tool, the putty part, that would kind of hold that in place as well. All right, so we have our 3 wicks. I'm going to set this other stuff aside. I might use that later. We have our Let's Celebrate. That's going to go there. This is going to go onto here. And this I'm going to pop up on some dimensionals because I really want that to pop. The word celebrate. Good morning, Kathy Jean. I don't know if you said that a while ago. It just happened to look up and saw that comment. So glad you could join us. This is going to go on here, but I'm going to put these candles underneath there. So I'm just going to kind of dry fit this where I want these. And I think I'm going to cut some of these off a little bit after I spent all that time trimming. Completely forgot that I did cut those a little. Okay, so I'm going to have that go there. That one's going to come off that way a little bit. Oh, all thumbs this morning. And this one's going to go over here, like so. And I'm just going to take some Scotch tape. This is going to be hidden. And I'm just going to tape those down. And then that will go up on some dimensionals over the top of it. So I'll bring that up so you can see that a little bit better. All right, so that is what our candles look like. Looks like I'm down to the edges of my dimensionals here. I'm going to do that. And I made this card so long ago that I think what I did was I put my dimensionals in between the candles, kind of. I think that's what I did. Get it straight. Let's celebrate you. All right, and then I'm going to grab, I think I have a gift card up here. I forgot this part. So here's our gift card. Just going to pop that right inside of there. Now I did find when I tried to put this up on some dimensionals, it was really, really hard to get that gift card out of there when it was on the card. I'm like sitting here trying to go like this, trying to pull it out. I found it was much easier if I was able to remove the gift card holder. So I'm like, oh, you know what I should do is I should use some Velcro. So that's what I did. I got my Velcro dots out and I have, this is one side. This is a lot of Velcro dots. I use these quite a bit actually in a lot of different 3D items. So what I normally do is I just match those up, the top and the bottom. And I'm just going to put them in the 4 corners. And the reason I match them up like that is so that I know exactly where I have to put them. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could just use dimensionals. But I don't know, for me, and I don't know if it's because I have fat fingers, I was finding it really hard to get the gift card out of that little envelope when it was on. This I also thought would be awesome because the recipient, because it's just on Velcro, could go ahead and if you ended up just putting like a post-it note on, writing on the inside, you could very easily, that person could go ahead and reuse this. Okay, so I'm going to push these down real good, make sure that they get a good fit. And then the first time that I pull them off, I make sure that I'm pushing down really tightly. So now I know where I want these to go. Okay, so now that Velcro is there, so the person can take this off and can get the little gift card out of the pocket. And then you can just go ahead and put that right back on the card again. Is that not cool? I thought that was kind of ingenious. I was like struggling with it, going, I can't get this out of here. I really, really like this card, but it's really kind of kicking my butt a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and use some of this sheer ribbon. And again, I'm going to take this off to actually make the bow. Now, will the person know to take it off? You may have to write a little note on the inside that says that the envelope on the front can be removed and your gift is inside of it if you needed to. I'm just going to go ahead and tie this in a bow. Got a couple of bows that I think I have to tie today on live TV. All right. This ribbon is so easy to work with. I am going to leave the tails just a little bit longer so that if I decide to open it up and tie it back up, I've got enough ribbon to tie myself a bow again. So there is our card. Let's celebrate you. Happy birthday. Gift card is included on the card, which is so fun. And we will make a little matching envelope. Here's my liquid glue. Don't need a lot of glue, but you do kind of want to get to the edges so that your paper doesn't peel off. And we'll trim around here. I just think this would be such a fun card. I find my nieces and nephews are all like 20 somethings, and best thing that I can send them is usually a gift card. And so, although I have been finding some unique things to send them as well, but isn't that fun? Fun way to give a gift card. Don't have to make a box or do anything like that. Not just sitting it right in the envelope, but it has its little place right on the card. So that is our card number 1 using our celebration tags. Oh, you know what? I forgot the little bling that I had on here. These are some of the fine sparkle adhesive back gems that are in our holiday catalog with the gnome set. And should be able to just pull these right out. These have some pool party. My Velcro dots, Sandy, I end up just getting from Amazon. I can list the little link to where I ended up getting them. But yeah, they're super. I like the really little ones instead of those bigger ones. All right, so I have a couple of the pool party dots that I just added here to add a little bit of something to that as well. All right, now I think it's ready to go in the mail to somebody. I have a nephew that has a birthday coming up in November. And I think with the blue and that darker, I think this could be, maybe I might do a different color instead of the little pinwheel flowers. I might do something that maybe is a little bit more masculine in this DSP, but otherwise, I think this could be a man card or a woman card. All right, that is card number 1. Now, card number 2 was our 12 Weeks of Christmas project, week 3 from last week. And this is some product that is coming out in November. It is actually going to be in the new spring catalog, not the paper, but the stamp set and dies are going to be. Look at this paper, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen on here. So one side of the paper is all these floral images, which, oh my goodness, this one has dies that will cut that stuff out. Okay, and then the back is more of like just like regular patterns that you could use anytime. Now, the paper is going to be available while supplies last. Okay, so it starts to be available on November 1st, and it will be a while supplies last, or until I believe it's like January, maybe. The stamp set and dies are going to be in the new catalog. So those, if you can get early, but they will also be in the spring catalog. So I love the greetings and the fonts on here and the floral images. But then the dies, oh, look at this frame. We're going to use this frame today. So this cuts out the inside, cuts out the outside. These cut out some of the stamp sets, but also some individual ones. There is this frame that cuts around the outside. It also leaves like a little embossed image on it. This one doesn't cut out the inside at all. It just makes hearts in like a frame on your paper. Oh, these dies are so cool. I can't wait to show you the card today because I'm using these. Now, for a limited time as well, they have a greeting stamp set that goes with all of it. We're going to be using this today that has all Christmas greetings in it. So we're going to be using one of these, actually a couple of these today in the card that we're making because this is our Christmas card. And then I decided to pair it with a stamp set that came back from last year's holiday catalog, Merriest Moments. And we're going to use the poinsettias that we have in here to kind of, because I didn't want to use these flowers for a Christmas card, I decided to pull in the poinsettias from here for our card. Oh, so much fun. Now, the other thing that we have that's just for a limited time in this are these gems. And I don't think you can see it. The camera doesn't do justice. I've seen other people's Facebook Lives, and these have little spirals in the center of them. And they're super lightweight and they're really, really thin. And so I don't think that they add much bulk to your card at all. So we're going to be using these today as well. Oh, I'm so excited to do this card. So I'm going to go ahead and I will give you the dimensions for the card. So this was my week 3 card. So we're going to be using Mary Merlot, which isn't a color that I use all that often. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4.25. We're going to be pairing it with some soft succulent, and the paper we're going to be using has soft succulent, and it has evening evergreen in it. We're also going to be using some gold foil. So, oh, just so excited to do this card with you today. I made this one, oh gosh, not last week, but it must have been the week before because I had it done already before I was supposed to go live. So this is our soft succulent. This is the paper that we're going to be using from there. I thought this could definitely be holiday paper. Now, if you wanted to, you could also take a Stampin' Blend and you could color in those little white berries with a Stampin' Blend marker. I actually did that to show you, and I don't know where I put that little strip of paper that I did that had it colored in. So much for showing you what it looks like. We're going to use it without it colored in today because I decided instead of cherry cobbler that I was going to use Mary Merlot. Mary Merlot is like a really, really deep burgundy, and I thought that that looked really rich on paired with this soft succulent. I already cut out one of those frames in the gold foil that we're going to be using. I also cut out that frame in white because I wanted to be able to do the greeting and I wanted it to go all the way out to the edge. I also took a scrap of Mary Merlot and I cut out, and I don't know how well you can see this, but there, I think you can see it a little bit. It does have a little bit of embossing or like little trimming on there as well. so that we're going to place that over. Isn't that going to look awesome? Oh, so excited. I have an envelope with some of that, and we have some scrap paper that we're going to have to, oops, this I think actually is the inside of my card. I'm going to go ahead and get the stamps out that we're going to be using. So we're going to be using the greetings from that special set that you can just get for a limited time. Again, it becomes available on the 1st of November, I believe it is. That's a Tuesday. I have to get another scrap. I forgot to get a scrap. And we're going to be using Evening Evergreen and Mary Merlot ink. So pretty. There are 2 different sizes of poinsettias in that stamp set. And so we're going to stamp one of the larger ones and 2 of the smaller ones. I always do things in odd numbers. Okay, that has dies that will cut that out. And through the magic of TV, I have those cut out already for us. Right, that's why I didn't have a scrap, because I knew I was going to cut those out. All right, on our little frame that I already cut out, our white one, take that out. And with some Evening Evergreen ink, we are going to stamp, "May this season be filled with peace and joy." And I am stamping just a little bit closer to the top because we are going to put those poinsettias down here. On the inside, I'm just going to stamp a Merry Christmas. Very simple, so that I have room to write another message. And I'm going to take one of those poinsettias and I'm just going to stamp that down in the corner. Now, on the ones on the outside, we're going to use those beautiful gems. But for this one on the inside, I'm just going to use this little, there's like little dots for the center, and I'm just going to do that in some Memento ink. Oh, I just love the look of that. I love the Mary Merlot. And Mary Merlot is one of those colors that honestly I probably should grab more, but I don't. And I don't know why. I usually tend to grab the Cherry Cobbler, Real Red. Oh, and I also cut one of these little poinsettias from the dies as well. Okay, let's go ahead and put this card together. This card is super, super fast to put together. At least I thought it was. But even though it went together really fast and isn't really complicated, I thought that it had some wow factor to it. I hope you think so too. I'll show you another card that I made with, I've made 3 cards now. One is in my card buffet. And it actually was the most popular card this month. People just love, I guess, the frames and stuff. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and put that down. Whoops. The liquid glue is nice because it has wiggle room, but sometimes it's not nice because I wiggle it and it doesn't need to be wiggled. And then we have our greeting on the inside, just the Merry Christmas. Now, there was one that said "From our home to yours" that I thought about putting in there, but I ended up choosing just the simple Merry Christmas. Okay, now for this, putting this together, I found it easiest to put the white onto this Mary Merlot piece first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add just a little bit of liquid glue here and there. This is where less is best, okay, because more is a mess. And I'm just going to flip this over And I'm going to center this right on there. Notice how because I used the inside of this one for my white, it gave me more room to be able to put that on there. Okay, and then we are going to just put this down with regular liquid glue. And I'm just going to put a couple of pops of glue every little bit. You could also probably put some glue dots in here. I know I saw one demonstrator do that. Make sure I'm still attached. Or connected, not attached. Haven't been watching comments. Right, so we'll flip this over. Pop that down. And then this middle part, we're going to raise up on some dimensionals. Again, I got to cut some dimensionals at the end of a pack, but that doesn't mean that you can't use these. I love these ends. Make sure we got enough on it so it doesn't sag. Don't want our card sagging. And center that up. Doesn't look like I stamped that very straight. It's looking a little bit crooked. I didn't notice it until I put it on here. That's all right. It'll be fine. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these up on either side. And then that is going to go in the middle so that we've got some. So I'm going to go ahead and use some mini dimensionals. And I don't think I need that there. I did this a week ago or over a week ago. I have to remember, I think I put a piece of glue right there. That's what I did. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Put a piece of glue or a dab of glue. Take that dimensional off. Pop that there, and then this is just going to go in the middle there. I think I want it down a little bit. And sorry about that, ladies. And just throwing a couple of dimensionals on here. There we go. And now, like I said, the centers of these, I wanted to bring that gold from the frame in. And so these beauties, excuse me, are just going to go right in the center of those poinsettias. So pretty. This one is a little bit, oh, you know what I missed? This has to go in here. See, I have to look at when I don't make these like the day before, I forget everything, all the different elements that I had. This one's been sitting and waiting for you to see it for over a week. This darn cough and laryngitis. And there we go. That one just had a little extra on it. All right, so that is our Christmas card for week 3. We're going to make ourselves an envelope here. Isn't this paper? Like, who would have thought just looking at that would make a pretty Christmas card? Not meant to be Christmas paper, but could definitely. And if you wanted to, like I said, you could add just a pop of that red color by using your cherry cobbler Stampin' Blend and coloring some of those in with the red or with a more burgundy colored berry. I just put way too much glue on this. There we go. So there is our week 3 Christmas card. Next week, I'm going to do more of the true meaning of Christmas, try to incorporate that a little bit. I'll set that aside. And now for your week 4. All right. Oh, thanks, Diane. Thank you, ladies, for saying it's a beautiful card. I had so much fun playing with this. Oh, I said I would show you one other card that I made. Here's another card that I made with the birthday, with the blues, Night of Navy, and Balmy Blue together, and then some soft succulent. And so this opens up. I didn't do the inside part of this one yet, so ignore the fact that it doesn't have anything on the inside yet. But it was a little bit of a fun fold when I was starting to play around with some of the dies and some of the elements of that stamp set. So just a really, really fun stamp set, dies, frames, just absolutely beautiful. All right, let me go ahead and get up our third card, which is going to be a pocket card. So last weekend, while I was laying on the couch most of the weekend, I participated in a retreat with 4 other demonstrators and kind of big name demonstrators. They're all like in the $1 Million Club, not anywhere that I'm close to. But anyway, one of the cards that they had as a pre-retreat sample was a pocket card. So I used their idea, but I used my own paper and my own design for this week's card. And so this is going to be a poinsettia card as well, but this one is going to be a pocket card. So I'll go ahead and so you start with a piece of designer series paper, and the designer series paper measures 9¼ by 6. I dropped something and I don't know what I dropped, so I apologize. I heard something hit the floor when I pulled this out, and I'm like, oh great, it's probably something I'm gonna need, but we'll figure it out when I get there. Okay, I scored this at I believe it was 2¾ and 7 inches. And then this is 5/8 of an inch along the bottom. So if I go ahead and fold on these so that you can kind of see that. Okay, so 2¾ 7, and then 5 inches. Whoops, I got disconnected. Sorry, ladies, not sure why this keeps happening. There we go. We're back, I think. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So 9¼ inches by 6, scored at 2 3/4, scored at 7, and then this is 5/8. All right, what we have to do is we have to take the two rectangles along the bottom and remove those. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut up that score line to the first score line, and then cut this whole rectangle. Did I say triangle? I meant rectangle. I used to be a math teacher. I should know the difference between. Okay, so I'm going to take those two rectangles off. And then I'm also, just to kind of make it look really nice, I am going to go ahead and cut up just to make that little flap. That looks like that. All right, now the other thing that I have to do, I am going to grab a punch. I know we don't have circle punches anymore, so you would have to do this with a die. I happen to keep my circle punches. So I'm going to go ahead and just sort of eyeball this. And I'm going to try to find the center, and I'm only going to cut about half of the circle, like that. Just to kind of have an easy way for me to pull my card out of the pocket. So this is my pocket. This is what the pocket's going to look like. And then there's going to be something that's inside there. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to adhere this. So I'm just going to put a little strip of, I think I'm a little bit crooked here. Here we go. I'm just going to put a little strip of glue right along the edge of that. And then I'm going to put it along the edge of, so one of these is a little bit longer than the other one. So the longer one is going to get folded in first, and then the shorter one gets folded in after, so that your crease is right along the center. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put glue on that and fold this up to make my pocket. I'm just going to make sure, and you can use sticky strip or tear and tape if you wanted to. I found that liquid glue was just as easy, and it sticks. As long as you hold it in place until it is stuck, it works just fine. All right, I think the piece that flew out was a piece of garden green. And I don't have my, oh, here it is. It flew all the way over, halfway through to the side of my room. Holy cow. Okay, this measures 4 1/8 by 5 1/4, and that will fit inside of our pocket. Okay, but that's kind of boring just to do that. So I decided to layer it with some real red. So this one measures 3 7/8 by 5. And then our greeting is going to go on some basic white. And so this measures, let me think here, 3 3/4 by 4 7/8. Okay. Now I also wanted to make this stand out a little bit more. And so I decided what I thought it needed was to bring in that trio punch. And let's make this a tag. So I'm using just the cornered one. You could make it a little bit fancier if you wanted to use the fancier one. I'm just going to cut each one of these in the corner. This is like one of my favorite punches right now. I just love it. All right, so we've got those 3 layers. Now, I apologize. I used this because I just love this, but it's also not available right now. And it's my favorite paper. This is the Distressed Gold, which has been on back order for a while. And I think it's saying like the first week in December it's supposed to be coming back, which I wanted to use this in my Christmas cards and I don't have enough of it. So when something is really popular, I know now that I need to get it right away. I also used the dies. This is a die from this set Leaves of Holly, which is what I'm using today. So we've got the frame right here, and then these leaves right here match up with this so that you can glue those to make those a different color. So you can put those back and make those green and just have the veins be the distressed gold from your um, label. Right, I have another little piece. This is like 3 3/4 by 1/2 inch. And we have a scrap of Real Red. All right, let's get some stamping done and then we'll put all of this together. So we're going to stamp on here and we're going to stamp on here. I have some Real Red ink from the inside. And yeah, where are my stamps? Oh, they're underneath the dies right here. Oh, goodness. This just says, from our home to yours. It's kind of small, but it gives me enough room to be able to write a message or to sign it. From our home to yours. And then on this red, we're going to use Versamark. Bring in that gold. Oh, I did have Versamark, I thought, in there. Where did I put my Versamark? Let me just grab it from one of my bins from my buffet. I'll be right back. Oh, goodness. There we go. It's 9 o'clock already. None of the ladies are here yet. I have a big note that says, just come in. So if Lila starts to go nuts, it means that one of them has arrived. We are almost done. Then I have some gold embossing powder. All right. Heat gun will heat that up. And there is a die that will cut it out to look like that. Christmas wishes. All right. Now I got to put this all back into the right bucket for my card buffet. I didn't want to skip another week with you ladies because of being gone last week. So I'm doing double duty here today. All right, let's go ahead and put this together. So let's start with our inside. I am going to layer all of these tags on top of each other. And then this is going to go on top of here. Like so. And then I'm going to bring this punch back in. And we're going to, I'm checking to make sure that like these little angles on the end are both the same size so that I can know that I have it pretty close to the middle. It's going through 3 layers of paper, so you just got to press a little bit hard. And then this is a dual pack of ribbon. Comes in the garden green and also some Real Red. And I'm just going to flip this through and then pull my tails through to make a cute ribbon, to make it easy to pull out. Let me grab my ribbon scissors. To make that easy to pull in and out of our little pocket. Isn't that fun? Something a little bit different. All right, now I'm going to adhere. So what I did was I just took a little bit. This I did just make the other day, so this one I remember what I did. I've made a lot of cards since I made that other one, so to try to remember everything that I did was like, oh my goodness. That's how it is sometimes when I do my card buffets too. If I've made the card a really long time ago, it's like, okay, what was the little trick for that? Again, this is easier to flip upside down and to line this up. I know because I've did this one in a swap and I had to do this a lot. It's like it's just so much easier to do it this way than to try to do it from the front. Isn't that pretty? I just love how that looks. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little liquid glue along this skinny line just every once in a while, just getting a little bit of it out along the edge. But then the rest of this is going to have dimensionals. Oops, I should cut this in half here. I only got disconnected once so far, knock on wood. Does the image seem to be a little bit clearer? A little bit. I can read Christmas wishes. So that's good. Couldn't do that a couple weeks ago. All right, this is going to go in the center here. And then this outside edge, I'm just going to push down so that it's laying flat. That's why I put that little bit of glue on there. But the rest of it is going to be up on dimensionals. And then this Christmas wishes is just going to go right in the center of that. Just love this stamp set. It's so pretty. Lots of great elements. And then I have some of the real red rhinestones. Whoops, you know what? I think I was supposed to have this along the bottom. I'm like forgetting all the little bottom little strips of my cards today. This is the second one that I forgot. It just adds a little bit of that poinsettia pop on by adding it. Doesn't that just add a little something to that little tag that you're pulling out? And here, if you wanted to, you could make this a little bit longer and you could fold it up and tuck a little gift card in there if you wanted to, too. I thought of that afterwards. All right, the real red rhinestones. Let's put a couple of these babies on here. Oh, I've got a lot of putty. And I'll just do like maybe 3 of them there. And just like that, we have ourselves a pocket card. And that is week 4 of the 12 weeks of Christmas. So here's our week 4. Here's our week 3. And then here's just the fun birthday gift card holder that I made. 3 cards, 3 projects, in just a little over an hour. Not too bad. All right, I'm back. I think I'm going to have to run, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us, joining me today. I apologize that it's been a while, but I really kind of feel like I'm back. It wasn't too bad. I didn't cough hardly at all. This is a really good day for me so far. So maybe I've turned the corner. Thank you again. I will be live again next week. And then I think it's the week after that already that I'm going to be gone. I'll let you know next week. But I will have week 5, which will focus a little bit more on the true meaning of Christmas. And then as we get closer to Christmas, I have a couple of other 3D projects, some tags mixed in there and things like that. So thanks so much for being with me today. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.